Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Lindsay and this is Life with Lindsay. Today we have WIP Chat. If you do not know what a WIP Chat is, that is when I work on my current WIP, WIP, which is work in progress, and you can pull out whatever it is that you are working on and work alongside with me. It can be a household project, it can be while you're folding laundry, while you're meal prepping, while you're doing dishes, whatever it is. It can be while you're working, while you're driving, but please don't watch while you drive because that's not safe. Whatever it is that you want to be doing. Again, there is no right way or wrong way to WIP and Chat. If you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Lindsay. I do mainly diamond painting and some other crafting related content, and I would love for you to like, subscribe, hit the bell, hop aboard the Hot Mess Express. Let's all be friends. So, I hope that you guys are all doing well. I just said to my husband, do you think I should record now or tomorrow? And he's like, well, you have the time now, so I would do it now because tomorrow's not that tomorrow's not guaranteed, not that kind of thing, but like that I don't have free time tomorrow. Even though I'm planning on having free time tomorrow, you never know. If you guys are new here, hi. I have a tiny human. She's still very much awake, even though she should be asleep. And her monitor is like right off camera, so you might hear her singing and performing away in her bedroom. It's like a daily occurrence. It's like an hourly occurrence, I should say. Anyway, if you guys are noticing something, yeah, my nails are done. And if you know why, if you know, you know. If you don't know why, Monday, so you guys will see this on Tuesday, hopefully. But Monday, July 10th, was World Airway Disorders Day. And I, along with, currently my daughter's nails are painted blue. We're going to paint my husband's tonight. Honestly, I'll probably paint them like while we're watching TV. I got super quick dry nail polish too. You could if you wanted to.
I kind of paint for a living.
I know. But it's different painting your nails. It's like getting pampered. And if you guys are new or newer to me, like, yes, 100%. Every year, my daughter is 5.5. So every year since the first July that she was alive, which was 5 years ago, we have all painted our nails. We didn't paint her nails when she was a baby because, you know, babies put everything in their mouths. Although I shouldn't say like that because she still puts everything in her mouth. I know. She literally, you guys, I painted her nails blue. And it's quick dry, but it still needs to dry. And quick dry doesn't mean it goes from wet to, like, bone dry. It just means that it goes from, like, wet to you can keep functioning. And I look over and I'm like, Briar, you have blue on your lips. And she's like, what? And she stuck her finger right in her mouth and got blue all over her lip. This is after I already fixed the giant nick that she put in her finger. So it's been fun. But anyway, I never have my nails painted on YouTube anymore. I can't paint my own nails. But I made it work because we do this every year. And we do it because it's a really easy way to raise awareness, especially if like the entire family all has blue nails or like a group of people have blue nails. So if you guys are participating this year, even if it already passed when this aired, please feel free to post on Instagram and tag me, and I will share it with Coping with LM. If you guys would like more information, and I know this is totally, like, not everybody's jam, but I did do a video all about my daughter and her story and the things that we dealt with and all of the health stuff that came along with it. If you would like to see that video, I will link that one up in the eye. Again, I totally understand if that's not your jam. I'm going to make a note of this. Because, you know, some people are just here for the diamond painting stuff and they don't really want too much in-depth stuff. And I totally understand that. But this is the first year that I have not put together a fundraiser. I'd like to, and I still would like to do one later this year. Maybe like around her birthday. But if you guys would like to donate, I am running a Facebook or Instagram fundraiser, or I will leave all the information down below on how you can donate directly if you would like to. Coping with LM is a 503c nonprofit. It is completely an all-volunteer organization. And for anyone who's curious, I'm only going to talk about this for like another minute, and then I'm going to tell you guys about my week. But Amazon Smile, if you were familiar with that program, has ended. And that's how they were getting quarterly donations every single year for the care packages, the project pajamas, and other things that they send to families for free. And they got hit really, really hard by losing their Amazon Smile donations. So I know I say it all the time, but literally every penny counts and every penny makes a difference. So if you find it in your heart that it is something that you can do, I thank you, thank you, thank you. If you cannot financially donate, or that's not really your thing, but you would still like to share the fundraiser on your social media or share their information, please, 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 please. You never know who it's going to reach. I have had people reach out to me, like diamond painters or other crafters in the community, who had no idea what Laryngomalacia was, and they heard me talking about it, and they have a child with it or a family member with it, or learned about it. And that's why we do this. We do this to raise awareness to, because every breath shouldn't be something that kids have to fight for. So, anywho, I hope that you guys are all doing well. It has been an eventful week. I don't know if I just didn't realize, like, how much busier life would get after I had a kid. But now I'm wondering, I'm trying to see something here. No. Okay. So I used some special drills over here. You guys can't see it. It's out of frame. And I don't know if I super love how it came out or not, but either way, I'm deciding if I wanted to do it over here, and I don't think I do. I was trying to make the lights, because there's so many neon lights in this, a little bit more, like, pop more, but I don't have the right shaped glow drills, and I didn't want to purchase some. Glow drills, from my experience, the ones that I've used, both round and square, are completely see-through, which is fine. And if you guys have been around long enough, you've heard me say that you can't see those things up close. That's why I don't mind some things that other people do mind, because nobody's looking at my canvas like that close up. But at the same token, if it's something that has black symbols underneath it and it's like a see-through drill, it's a little bit more obvious. Speaking of canvases, the girl who does my hair, hey Morgan, I know you're not watching, but shout out to you. Ooh, I have to sneeze. Sorry, I had to sneeze and I really didn't want to sneeze into the recording, into the microphone, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. So, sorry about that. But anyway, Morgan, she reached out to me. She's opening a second location of her salon, and she asked me if I would want to do a diamond painting for her, and I told her absolutely. Let me know if it's any of the bajillion that I have in my stash. No, I'm not making a stash video. No, I'm not posting how many I have or anything like that. I don't want your number. I let her know, like, if you see anything on the Diamond Art Club website, or, like, I have a ton of, like, the Curtis Reykjavik girls, the damsels. If any of those are of interest to you, let me know, and I'll see if I have it. I did find one. It's actually been one that's been kitted up in my house for over a year. I was going to do it for an event last year, and I think it was last year. It might have even been the year before. And inspiration left. I had big plans for that canvas. If you guys, it's Willow. Willow? No, Willa from Mika Jelena, and Diamond Art Club. It is... The vibes of that feel like they would fit her salon really, really well. So, I may or may not do that one. I'm sure she's going to try to commission me, and I'm going to be like, listen, it's going to just live in a pile on the floor in my house, so it might as well live for free in your salon.
Let it breathe.
And, like, when I tell you guys that, like, I literally just have a pile of diamond paintings on my floor. So much so that I had a second pile. Well, the first pile was in the closet, and then my husband just kept doing his stuff around it, and he's like, I think you have enough in here. So I have a pile directly to my left on the floor. I thought about, do any of you guys have any of those, like, giant portfolios? I thought about that, but then I'm like, it's still going to take up as much space, but it'll just be more organized. part of me finds that appealing, but the other part of me is like, am I going to put in that kind of effort? I don't know. If you guys have one, let me know. I know they're not cheap, but what's the point of spending this much money on this craft to just let it like die in piles? Now my nose is running because I sneeze. Oh, such is life. C'est la vie. Anyway, so I am hoping that if that is the one she decides to go with, that I will be able to get that going soon. I think I'm going to do, my plan is to do my DIY Moonshop Lollipop Girl next, which I know might surprise some of you. If you guys would like to see the unboxing for that one, I will leave that in the eye. There's something about that image that I can't get out of my head, which is good because obviously you want to love the art you're working on or the image you're working on. I think I might attempt to work and do an event in August. We shall see. We'll see. I technically am working on this for Punks and Crafts, Punked Out Diamonds, which is Knox's event. But that ends in a few days, and I don't know if I'll finish this in time. I honestly didn't start it until the end of June. But the event runs till mid-July. We'll see. But I have an unboxing to film this week for a brand new diamond painting company. They reached out to me and asked me if I would do an unboxing, and I said yes. I am very, very excited to share that with you guys. There's not much more I love than a diamond painter in the community starting their own business and including other diamond painters in the process. So I'm really, really excited. Keep those notifications on so you guys can see that. But anyway, I have been sitting here rambling for a very long time, and I've told you absolutely nothing about my life, which, I mean, that might be your jam. That might not be your jam. I don't know. But anyway, it feels chaotic. And I got an email from the library. This is not really to you guys, but you're here. So I have to return my daughter's library books. I have to renew other library books, and I have to get her. We've been participating in a summer reading program. I guess just a reading program. It is aptly titled 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten. And if you are unsure of what the goal is, yes, it is to reach 1,000 books before kindergarten. If you guys hear noise in the background, my husband's going to be using his heat gun here in a minute. It just sounds like a really loud or really a hairdryer. When he does it on the inside of a pop head, it makes a ghost sound. Speaking of which, anybody else Team Halloween already? Because I am, and I will tell you guys all about that here. We have a Halloween mat, welcome mat, whatever you want to call it, outside our door already. Yep, that's us. And yeah, we have I'll talk about that. But anyway, so, where am I? What was I talking about? So the point of this 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten is that you're supposed to start reading books with your kids and keeping track of them when they're babies so that they learn the love of reading and it instills, a lot of things in them. We've been reading books to her since she was a newborn. However, I have not been keeping track of this, and we only learned about this after she finished preschool. So I told her, like, flat out, I said, look, it's probably not likely that we're going to reach 1,000 books before you start kindergarten. But once you hit your first 100, you bring in your sheet, and then they give you a little backpack. Now, I'm sure it's one of those plastic drawstring backpacks, and it's not anything super exciting, but to her, it's like, I know. And then she's probably going to lose it or break it in one day, and then be like, can I get another one? That's not how it works. But anyway, so I have to take her sheet in because we've filled it up, and we have read more books, and I need to keep track of that. So maybe tomorrow or Tuesday, I'll take her to the library for a little bit, because I do need to... I feel like tomorrow, this is what happens all the time. I get the email of like, oh, your books are due. And then I go, oh, shoot. And then I read like 7 books, chapter books, mind you, the day before they're due. So yeah, we'll probably be reading a little bit tomorrow. Yeah. But you guys, I have no memory on my phone. I know I've talked about this, and I need to just upgrade my technology, but I'd rather spend that money on other things than a new phone. But I have to erase the Goodreads app every time I record so that I have enough room on my phone. And then even still, I don't have enough room. Although now I don't know what to do because I just downloaded Threads. Is anybody else on Threads? If you're on Threads, follow me on Threads. If you don't know what Threads is, it's basically Instagram's version of Twitter without hashtags, which I learned after making my first post with hashtags. But, I'm old. What do you want from me? But they are linked to your Instagram account. So if you make a Threads account and then you go, I don't want this anymore, you can't erase your Threads account unless you erase your Instagram account. I mean, sure, you could log out of it and just leave it unattended, but that's as far as it goes. Anyway, let's get into it. So last week, Sunday, we decided to go Halloween hunting. I have no idea if any spirits or anything like that are open yet, but I had seen somebody posting on Instagram about Joanne Fabric. And she had this adorable orange skeleton that had a pumpkin head, giant, like 5 foot maybe, in her video. And I was like, well, I obviously need that in my life. We had an inflatable up last year, which I imagine will go back up this year again at some point. We have a little metal, almost like a bobblehead ghost outside our front door that has been out there since last summer. This is just like a year-round zone for us. Like, I love Halloween. I love Halloween all year round. Now listen, I'm going to preface this because I know people are, like, July is too early. No, it's not. If Christmas people can be obsessed with Christmas all the time, if they can celebrate
Christmas in July, then
that's what I was just going to say. If people do Christmas in July, and there are some people who, like, they literally have a Christmas tree up year round, and they're like, we decorate it for other holidays. Like, it's not harming anyone. Just let them do them. Let me do me. You do you. Okay? Anyway, so I went running over to Joanne's. My daughter is just as much of a Halloween person as I am. And they had this skeleton pumpkin guy, and I was like, holy crap, he's expensive. Now, it was a sign that said 40% off, although the date had already ended. And Brian's like, well, just go ask him up front. I'm like, okay, so I did. And she's like, oh, yeah, honey, this is 40% off, because they were trying to clear out 4th of July stuff, because it was, 4th of July was like the next day, I think, or 2 days later, or whatever day it was. And I was super excited, so I was like, okay, so we'll get this. 40% off is about as good as you're gonna get. At the end of the season, sure, you might get more, but like the big ticket items aren't still there at the end of the season, which makes me laugh. Bed Bath & Beyond is going out of business. That doesn't make me laugh. But the amount of people that are like, oh my god, 10% isn't enough, 20% isn't enough, 40% isn't good enough, now it's like 75% off, and they're like, there's nothing good left. Well, yeah, because you waited so long. Anyway, so we got up to the register. We got that. We got a couple other things. Like I said, we got a new doormat. A couple little things. Nothing like super big except for that skeleton. And the woman at the register said, oh, do you have the additional coupon that's in the app? And my husband's like, well, let me download it. So we got everything. Like an entire shopping cart worth of stuff. Not all of it was Halloween stuff. For less than the price of just that skeleton, full price. We got 40% off of all the Halloween stuff, plus an additional 20% off the entire ticket with that coupon. Everything else we bought was like end of summer clearance, like craft stuff. I got a storage container for my daughter. I thought would be nice, not for school, but like projects. I am so sorry. My nose is running like crazy right now, you guys. It's driving me crazy, and I don't have any tissue out here.
Do you want me to grab grab you a paper towel?
No, it's alright. I'll survive. As I said that, I looked over and found a tiny piece of tissue sitting next to me. So, you know, there's that. But, you guys, I got him. He's so cute. And he's huge. So when we went to leave, we were like, well, where are we going to put him? And even though it's not like a massive thing, it's still bulky. So my husband actually put him in the back seat with my daughter, like in the seat next to her with the seatbelt on. So we've been driving around now for over a week with it in there, and she's talking about how it is her big brother. I have named him Sid. If anybody has a better name, let me know. I'll insert a picture here if you guys would like to see Sid and I. Well, I guess, yeah, Sid and I. I'm going to make a note of that also. Sid photo. Usually my husband is the one who comes up with names, but I came up with that and then I defended it because Briar wanted to name it like Orange Pumpkin Skeleton, which, you know, I mean, listen, I get it, but also I'm not naming it Orange Pumpkin Skeleton. Her pink giraffe that she's been toting around for the last couple days is aptly named Pink Giraffe, so.
Although Honey's the name of the
other one, yeah. That's new, though, because that was not named... I'm pretty sure that was named Jeffrey for a while because it reminded her of Jeffrey from Toys R Us. If you guys did not know, there is a Toys R Us in the American Dream Mall in North Jersey, over by the Meadowlands. So that's the only reason why she knows who Jeffrey is. Making sure I didn't miss any of this color, which I'm sure I did. You know, life. Oh, there's a whole bunch over here, Lindsay. So anyway, we got that, and then afterwards we went over and we had some sushi for dinner. Jesus, Lindsay. Don't mind me, you guys. I've pulled this color out 3 times since I've been working with you guys. And now I don't know where it went. There we go. And I just keep missing. I like this color, though. This is a really good color for Laryngomalacia. And if I don't say so, I did a pretty decent job on my manicure. I'm just praying that my child still has nail polish on in the morning and that she doesn't chew it all off. We'll see how that goes. Ooh, that was not comfortable to my eye. So yeah, we did that. We got sushi stuff afterwards. You guys, the sushi hibachi place that's like right near where all of this shopping took place. We don't often sit on the non-hibachi side because that's part of the fun of when you go get hibachi is to watch the show. But we also knew it was dinner time. It was going to be busy. Hibachi is always a long experience. Do you guys like hibachi? Briar loves hibachi, but the last couple times we've gone, she's wanted to have sushi instead, which is totally fine. But I don't want to buy her something she's not going to eat. And thankfully, she ate pretty good. And if you guys remember the week that I talked about having like the mommy and me pottery date, we went to this same place and she got sushi then. She remembered the roll. I mean, she loves a California roll. I think it's a pretty common, like, first-ish roll for a lot of people because it's cooked. It's simple ingredients. It's crab. It's avocado. And she ordered that and she remembered the name of the other roll. And I was shocked. And she was right. And she enjoyed it. And we had a really nice meal. I enjoyed I like going there. I knew I just saw this. I know I'm going to put this color away and be like, crap, there's 100 more of that. But it is what it is. So we did that. And then that was our big Sunday. And then Monday, it's funny. So I've said this to you guys before. If you're new here, this is how I keep track of what I do. Because I used to every day, like, come home and almost like diary entries, write down everything of what I did so that I could share it with you guys. But then I realized, like, I would talk so long about whatever it was I was doing that I was missing, like, most of the week, because I would tell you every little detail and every little story, and then I tried to wing it, and it was all over the place. I mean, it's always all over the place, but then I started using my Google Maps, and of course, I go back to look at it, and I said to my husband, what did I do on this day? It just shows me the general area I was in, but I was like, for that many hours, what did I do? Well, it turns out what I did was I met Audra from Diamond Painting Daily, which I will link her down below. Erica from Kevin's Creations, who is a very real life friend of mine that I see. The two of us went and met Audra, who was in town because her and her child went to a concert together the night before. And oh my God, you guys, she is such a doll. I loved sitting and getting to hang out with her. She actually lives very close to my parents. It just has never worked out that we've met up. So this was super nice. We went to Starbucks. I got really sunburnt, which was crazy to me because like it even rained while we were there at one point. But I mean, I got sunburnt like bad, and I was like, cool. But it was so nice. Have you guys gotten to meet any of your diamond painting friends in real life? Like outside of going to a convention or retreat or something like that? Because I have not. I mean, Erica I've known, so that's different. I actually brought her into this world. Like, it wasn't like I met her through diamond painting. Like, I knew her years before this. So it was super cool to get to meet Audra. And you guys, if you don't follow her, you should. Right now, she's hosting her event on Instagram, which is a emoji trivia game, as well as a diamond painting portion of it. But if you're not participating in the diamond painting part, you can absolutely participate in just the emoji trivia, which has been so much fun. She did it last year. Did she do it the year before? I can't remember. All the years kind of blend together after a while. But it was such a joy, you guys. I highly recommend, if you have the opportunity to meet some of your diamond painting friends in real life, like, totally do it. I mean, obviously, if you're at one of the diamond painting retreats, that makes it easy to potentially meet, like, a bunch of your diamond painting friends all at once. Although I will say, and I know it makes me sound salty, and the reason it makes me sound salty is because I am. And this is all I'm going to say about the Great Lakes Retreat. I submitted my information the day that it opened up for the however many spots they had available, and anyone who didn't get those spots got put on the wait list. I filled out my information immediately. I was concerned because I got no confirmation. I got nothing indicating that they received anything, that I was on the waiting list, like nothing. When I tell you guys I got nothing, I got nothing. So I reached out to a fellow diamond painter who I'll keep them nameless for the sake of this conversation. They're going to know who they are when they hear this. They reached out to the people who were putting it all together and basically was like, she just wants to know that her stuff was received. And I got a copy and paste email, which I know was copy and pasted because it had all the information from the year before, and that was literally the only thing that I had gotten ever. No other recognition, no anything like that, and it was a bit frustrating because I talked to a few other people who got like an email update saying, oh, you're now X amount on the waiting list, or, your information has been received. I don't know if they thought maybe I was somebody else and they thought they were already emailing me or whatever it might be, but it's a little frustrating because I was really, in the back of my mind, I knew that if I got a spot, it would be much more complicated in figuring out how to get there, but let me make that my problem if I got a spot. But either way, like, I wanted to know where I was on the list. How many more people were ahead of me? Was this something that was, like, even plausible? Or was I, like, 300th on the list, And so part of me wanting to host a retreat is because I want to be able to have that experience with the people that I communicate with and the people who want to go to a retreat, but they can't get out to the middle of nowhere in Ohio or whatever it may be. And I'm not doing it out of spite or anything like that. Like, I've been talking about this, wanting to put together some sort of like meetup or whatever for a really long time. And it just seems like now might be the right opportunity. So again, if you guys have any interest in that, please let me know. Unfortunately, Mine is going to be much smaller than what the Great Lakes is, but, you know, I don't know if that's good, bad, or indifferent, but it just really frustrated me to see all these people continuously talking about it, and knowing that I hadn't even gotten an email saying there's X amount of people ahead of you on the wait list, or, oh, we got your stuff, you're on the list. So, you know, it is what it is, I guess. But anyway, hopefully, if we can make this work, which we don't have any further information other than a general idea of where it would be. We have to work on pricing. We'd have to work on how many days it is. But it also is one of those things. People who have gone to retreats, do you enjoy going to retreats where there's classes, or do you just want to sit and hang out and diamond paint? Everybody's different, and I know that whatever we do, no matter what it is not going to satisfy everybody. And I'm aware of that. I'm not even worried about that. I'm just curious, because I know what my answer would be, but I don't know what everybody else's answer would be. But obviously, if you do classes and things like that, you have to consider that into the cost. Yeah, I was going to say the rate, but that's not the right word. But I guess it is. So there's just a lot of moving parts, but I have, Erica is going to help me with this. I don't know if I was supposed to say that or not, but Erica, you're helping me with this. You already knew this. So I'm hoping that we can pull something beautiful together, and that for those who are able to, want to join us, that you'll be able to. So again, I'll keep you guys posted as we gather more information. Because right now it's really just like a pipe dream. How am I on time? Yeah, I'm like halfway through my time here already. So we did that. That was lovely. I enjoyed my Starbucks. And then the weather here has been like hot and rainy and humid. If it's not rainy, it's like a bajillion degrees and humid. And so we ended up getting some acai bowls for dinner. I like doing that on days that are really hot, because it feels like I'm putting something good into my body while also cooling myself down. If you don't know what an acai bowl is, it's basically a fruit smoothie bowl. This one is made out of an acai berry, which is similar to like a blueberry. And then you have different fruit toppings, other proteins, like there's peanut butter, there's, I think there's another nut butter available, there's a couple different things that you can add to your bowl. My daughter really likes them, my husband really likes them, I really like them, so we did that, and that was really nice. It was funny, because we were right near my mother-in-law, and subsequently enough, near Kevin and Erica, and I actually laughed, because I was like, I just saw Erica earlier in the day, I was like, I should call her and be like, hey, I'm in your neighborhood. I'm watching you. I'm hanging out. Although if I was hanging out at her house, she would know, because of like the way her house is laid out. Anyway, nobody needs to know anything about where Erica lives. That's not why we're here. And she's probably like, stop talking about it. The next day was the 4th of July. So, you know, I'm not really one to be like, oh my God, yay, America, because to make this political for a moment, which, you know, is very polarizing, I feel like there's not a lot going on in our country right now that's like, I'm proud to be an American. You know, we're going backwards in terms of like women's rights, gay rights, healthcare in general. Like, it's just a lot of things. So I'm not out there being like sis boom ba, but my daughter loves the 4th of July because she loves the American flag. She has no idea what it symbolizes, but she just loves the American flag, and she loves fireworks, which, oh my God, you guys, at this point, fireworks have been going off for like 4, maybe 5 days. And I was like, please don't keep going. Please don't keep going. Because here's a fun fact about children. It does not matter. If they go to bed early, they're going to wake up early. If they go to bed late, they're going to wake up early. So my kid's going to bed like 10:30 at night and still waking up at like 7 in the morning. Last night, you guys, she went to bed at like 10. I don't know why. She was just up and moving. But then she was up this morning. Her body was moving around at like 5:45. She finally got out of bed like 6:30, 6:45. And I was like, what are you doing, child? Just like, sleep. It's very frustrating. It's very annoying. But that being said, there is a large food truck event that we've gone to before that is along the Susquehanna River in Harrisburg. And we decided to go again, and we had a nice time. My daughter went over to the kids area. She got her face painted. Where's that color I just put away? She got a balloon. It's funny. The girl's like, whatever you guys do, don't put the balloon on the ground. Literally a minute later, my daughter puts the balloon down. It touches the grass, and it, like, totally explodes. Which I knew was going to happen. That's why she said not to do it. It's very strange to me that blades of grass are, like, balloon knives, but, you know, it is. It very much was. And she was not the only one, but she then wanted to go back and wait in line again, and I was like, absolutely not. They were free, so I can't, you know, complain too much, but also I didn't want to wait another half hour for a balloon of a blutterfly, as she calls them. But because the one side popped, I just kind of moved things around. I'm like, look, it still looks like a butterfly. And she's like, really? Yeah, why not? So anyway, we did that. And we walked around. We walked like 3 miles up and down the river. It was just really nice. Got to eat. The theme of this food truck thing seemed to be food in like dumpling shape. There was empanadas, there was dumplings, there was arancini, there was something else. And I was just like, oh, there's a lot of these like dumpling-esque food. Oh, pierogies. And I have to say my favorite of the food trucks, which if you are in the Philadelphia suburbs, they are based out of, I want to say Bucks County. I can't remember now. But it is a dumpling truck. You guys, they had 6 different flavors. You could do packs of 3 or 6. So I did 1 of each. There were 6 different flavors. There was a spinach, a French onion, Philly cheesesteak, roasted pork, and then 2 chickens. One was like a Chipotle chicken, and one was a buffalo chicken, I think. By far, hands down, the best of the meals that we got. And I really enjoyed it. It's a long day. It's a hot day. You know, we're walking up and down the river. But I'm really glad that they have done it. Last year they did it, and we came home and found out like hours later there was actually like gunshots. I don't know if it was anything related to the event or if it just was like in proximity. So I was like, oh, thank God we didn't stay.
Yeah, it was still like 9 p.m. But
we didn't want to do the night stuff because we didn't want to be down in the city for the fireworks. Not that I don't want to do fireworks, but I would much rather go earlier, have an easier time parking, and then not have to worry about everybody like mass exodus at the same time because now the event's over. You know? And I was younger, probably would have much preferred that, but now that I'm an old lady, I prefer the comfort of my own home. Yeah. So, I definitely missed a ton of that last color because I keep seeing it. I'm just going to keep going. This is an area that has so much color blocking, but it also has like a bunch of random confetti, which is fine. I have no problem with that. Anyway, so we did that. We had a good time. She had a good time. I mean, are you guys food truck people? I'm a food truck person. My husband and I are food truck people. We love food trucks. Doesn't really matter what kind of food trucks they are. We like food trucks. We were shocked to find some of these were pretty affordable because in general, food trucks are not. Sorry if my audio is trailing there. Fun fact, I do not use a lapel mic at all. So I was leaning, and I knew it when I was doing it, that I was leaning away from the microphone on my phone. But yeah, I had a really nice time. I think my husband was a little bit more fried than I was and ready to go. But I also had a vegan bao bun, which was delicious. They were based out of the Bethlehem area, if you guys are Pennsylvania people. But it was great. She loved getting the balloon. And they had like a bug guy doing a show. And they had a couple different stage shows. I didn't tell her because I knew she would be mad that we missed it. but the party company that does all of the princess events was going to be on the stage like in the evening. And we knew there was 0% chance we were going to be there at 7 o'clock at night if we were there at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, which I was right. Go figure. But it was nice. It was good. Did you guys do anything for my American friends? I mean, I guess if you're from another country, you can... What, did you do anything exciting over the week? I don't know. You tell me. Let me know down below. Anyway, the next day, we went to the post office, and my husband was like, oh, it's really busy. And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, it's the day after a holiday. That's when everybody all of a sudden is like, I couldn't get my mail out yesterday, so I have to be there today. It's like
Christmas gifts in July.
It's always, every single time. If anybody does shipping, like if they own a small business or whatever it may be, it's always like this. The day after a holiday, people flock to the post office as if, like, the previous 24 hours is the difference between, like, life or death for them. And it's always like that. And I don't know why. Like, I understand when it's closer to the holiday season, it makes more sense. But it doesn't really make that kind of sense in July. Which, speaking of July, so... tangent here. I don't know if you guys heard me talking about the tattoo situation. I've decided to go a different route now. If you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, I fell in love with a piece of a line work drawing, actually on Instagram, and the guy has his artwork available for sale. You can, print it, you can frame it, you can get it tattooed, whatever you want to do, but you can buy it. And I really, really, really fell in love with this fine line drawing. It is the chrysanthemum, which is the November birth flower, which is both my daughter and I. And then it has the faces of moons. It's beautiful. Totally different than any other style tattoo that I have, which I don't have that many tattoos. Like, I have one right here. But none of mine are, like, super delicate kind of style. And I'm now realizing you need to find somebody, like, not everybody can do that kind of tattoo. And unfortunately, the person that was recommended to me locally, I reached out to him. I was super, super excited. He got back to me right away. Like, it said 24 to 48 hours. It was the same day he got back to me. And I asked a couple questions, and I got no response. And then I gave it a few more days, and I followed up again. And then a few days after that, I got a response from him. And he had originally said to me, I have some spots available in August. Now, I know there's somebody out there that's going to be like, this is just semantics, Lindsay. You're, like, being too picky. To me, if the time you have available is, like, the last or second to last day of the month, then you say, I have spots available at the end of August. So I asked him, is there any way that we could do a different date than the one he was available for? Because my daughter is going to kindergarten in the fall, and I do not know if she will be AM or PM. Yes, I live in an area that is half-day kindergarten, which is fine. I mean, it's not my preference. And they've made it very clear to us, like, she does not qualify for full day. There is a full day program for kids who need it, but it's for more of, like, kids who need it for they're academically behind, or they need higher supports, whatever it may be. Our kid did not qualify for that. Fine, no problem. But you don't find out if you get AM or PM until right before the school year starts, like literally mid-August. So I don't know. The day he gave me was my kid's, like, second day of school. Or third day of school. And I don't know if it's going to be AM or PM. And because of not knowing her schedule, I can't commit, and I don't want to put a deposit down for, a tattoo that I can't get to. My husband would gladly take her to school, but if we both need to be in two different places at the same time, like, it doesn't make it easy. And this isn't super close that I can be like, okay, well, drop me off and you take her to school, or vice versa. But it also is something that, like, if I was like, okay, well, you worry about taking care of her, I'll just get myself there, that it would not be a cheap Uber ride, because, again, it's not that close. So, that was over a week ago, that last email, and I still got no response. Here's my thing. This is a very big, like, me in life in general thing. And I don't know if it's because I am neurodivergent, or if this is just me and how I function. But don't expect me to read between the lines. Get to the point and say what you mean. I have no problem if I need to move the tattoo to a different date. Like, I'm fine with that. But your absence in response is unprofessional. And it tells me you don't want to work with me. Whether you think that I'm not willing to spend the money that it's cost, or that I'm not going to be a good tipper for whatever reason. Whatever it may be. And maybe it's all a complete misunderstanding, but if he can respond to my initial email literally like an hour after I sent it, there's no reason in my mind why it should take almost a week and a half plus to respond about the next question that I asked. And for all I know, maybe he's upset because I didn't put a deposit down, but I didn't put a deposit down because we didn't discuss deposits. Because he didn't answer my questions. And I would much rather be told, I don't think that we're a good fit. I don't think this is going to work for me. Whatever the reason is, you don't even have to tell me what the reason is. Just tell me that this is not going to work, or, you see it going differently. Instead of me continuously sitting around week after week after week, because I reached out to this man weeks ago and I could have reached out to a different tattoo artist and made more progress at that point. And I haven't had a tattoo since our honeymoon in 2012, so it's been a long time. I don't know how much things are supposed to cost now. Everybody seems to be using Venmo, which I'm like, I have no idea how to use Venmo. I use PayPal. I have no idea. But I feel like he made it pretty clear to me, that's how it felt, that this was just not something he wanted to move forward with. And that's okay. And I'm not mad about it. I just would rather have somebody say that to me than to just drag me along. And I was talking to a girlfriend of mine, and I was saying to her, I feel like this is what, like, dating is like. And I was like, thank God I'm married, because I am so out of that scene. But, like, you have to look them up online. You have to check out their portfolios. You have to reach out to them in hopes that they like you back. Then you have to, your place or mine. Like, it feels like it's so much more complicated now than it was when I got my last tattoo or my first tattoo. Like, I literally walked into a shop for my first tattoo, told them what I wanted, paid the price, and walked out. And that was it. But now it just feels like, fill out this Google Doc. We'll email you if we're interested. We'll set up a time. We'll send your deposit, blah, 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 blah. And that's fine. I just don't want to, I don't want my time to be wasted, and I don't want to waste anybody else's time. And it felt like my time was being wasted, and that, it is what it is. So I have now moved on and reached out to another tattoo artist. So we will see how that goes. But yeah, if you guys have gotten tattoos recently, let me know if that's been your experience, or if I'm just unlucky in, like, every aspect of my life. And unfortunately, in the area that I live in, I shouldn't be like, oh, unfortunately, because I don't really know for sure. I didn't grow up here. I've had none of my tattoos from up here. My husband has a guy that does tattoos that is amazing, but this is not his kind of tattoo, so I wouldn't have reached out to him in the first place. But everybody that I'm looking for recommendations, people give me recommendations, and I look at their page, and I'm like, to me, fine line is fine line. Not like fat Sharpie lines. Not black and gray scale portraits. Those are separate skills, but they don't necessarily translate to something else. And the tattoo I want it to be beautiful and meaningful, and if I'm going to spend the money and the time and the effort, I want it to be something that is going to knock my socks off every time I look at it. The other thing I should note, and I don't know why, for some reason it bothers some tattoo artists, not all. Maybe it would be different if I was getting something on a different part of my body. I have a tattoo on my foot, I have a tattoo on my hip, and then the rest of mine are these ones here, the two on my hands. Is that it? No, I feel like I have another one somewhere. Anyway, but as you can see here, I have the tattoo facing me, because I'm the one looking at it all the time. I want to be able to look at it and have it be right side up when I'm looking at it, because I want it to bring me joy. And I know that's not the case, and for some reason that really bothers some people. I don't know. If my husband was getting a tattoo and he was like, oh, well, you're going to be staring at it all day long, I'd be like, listen, you're going to be seeing it more than I am, depending on where it is. Like, if it's on his face, obviously I'd see it, which he's not getting a tattoo on his face. But I don't even know if my husband has desires to get tattoos anywhere right now, but that's not the point. So I just wanted to point that out. I don't even remember where I was at. Wednesday, we went to the post office. That's right. Then we went swimming. We haven't had a swim lesson in like weeks. Thankfully, we have a couple more this month. Then my kids got camp the week. The instructor is on vacation, so that worked out well. Like, I don't have to worry about missing. But you guys, next week... Shoot, I have to call my chiropractor. Next week, we have an eye doctor appointment immediately following, and we timed it out, and this is like the kind of... We don't have time for my child to dilly-dally. So, let's see how well that works.
Like she ever dilly-dally.
Yeah. Haha. But yeah, we did that, and then we went to a restaurant that we always go to after school. I shouldn't say always. We usually go there after school. My husband's like, they do dinner? And I was like, they do. I think they used to do breakfast and lunch, but then they opened a second location that just does breakfast. So I think that this location does lunch and dinner. And it was nice. We had a good time. We didn't have to wait, which is nice because a lot of times at lunch we do have to wait. But it's one of those places that the food is affordable, but it's good. It's not like you're paying good prices and getting like crappy food, because what's the point? But then the next day we got to go riding. We haven't been riding in a while either. We've had so many things going on between going to Baltimore for a doctor's appointment and just other activities that we had camp and all these things, so a lot of things got put kind of on the back burner, and it was like, oh well, we'll come back to you when we have time. So there's a new little girl in our riding lesson who's about the same age as my kiddo. It's funny, I was talking to what I presume to be the father, turns out to be the stepfather, and I was like, oh, is she going to kindergarten in the fall? And he's like, I'm not really sure. And then he told me her birthday, and I was like, unless they're not sending her to public school, then yes, she should be in kindergarten. He's like, oh, okay. And then I think he even said like, wow, you know more than I do. I wouldn't feel like that. I wouldn't necessarily boast about that, but it was very nice because my daughter hasn't really socialized with the other kids at her riding lessons because they've been boys that kind of keep to themselves for whatever reason. And so it was nice to have another little peer in her group, which if this kid is going to kindergarten, she'll actually be going to school with one of our daughter's cousins, presumably. So that was super nice. After we went riding, we went to a restaurant in Hershey. It's a good lunch spot, but we did that because across the street is a place called Desserts, Etc. And, well, if you can tell by the name, they sell desserts. But when we were at the restaurant across the street, we sat at the counter, and my daughter has, I guess, never witnessed a soda gun, and I've never seen her more fascinated with something in her life. Every time that somebody used it, she was like, oh my God. And was giving compliments to everyone that was working there. You're so pretty. I love you. You're my new best friend. And I was like, girl, just like...
Yesterday at Bahama Breeze, literally, waitress is like, hi, I'm whatever. And she's like, I love you.
Yeah. And the woman's like, oh, yeah. But it was nice. But when we went across the street afterwards, which is why we picked this place for lunch, they had coffee flights. You guys, they do coffee and mini cupcakes together on one little tray. It was such a fun experience. My husband actually stayed in the car so he could work, which I guess is one of the bonuses to doing remote work, is that certain parts of what he does, he can do anywhere as long as he has internet access. I mean, he doesn't even need internet access sometimes. But, so he did that. And, of course, I wasn't feeding my 5-year-old coffee. And they were little, if I had to guess, probably like 4-ounce mason jars. Maybe 3-ounce mason jars. They were little, and they were super cute, and I had a great time, and then she was enjoying the cupcakes. But it was nice to actually, like, sit and have, like, a little mommy and me time, and it's so important to have that one-on-one time. You know, me and her, or my husband and her. It helps recharge her batteries. It's also good for us to have those moments with her. And it was just really, really lovely, and I'm super, super glad we did it. We ended up going to ice skating in the evening, where she was so distracted and disorganized. And then about 15 minutes into the class, she started paying attention and listening. There's an older girl, I have to guess she's probably like 14 years old, that's in her group lesson. And she just started paying attention to my daughter. And because of that, she started listening, and she started being like, I can do that too. And she had such a good baby spiral. Oh, you guys, I was so proud of her. But we've now decided our new tradition is going to be on Thursdays. We pick up pizza on the way home. We place the order like hours earlier so it would be ready, and just pick it up and take it home. And it worked. It was great. It works for what we need to, because unfortunately the skating lesson is like right around dinner time. So it's harder to figure out like what we can prepare ahead of time, or, you know, we did a crock pot meal the first week and it didn't go our way. But yeah, so that was good. And then the next day, Briar had a private lesson. The little girl that has a private lesson with our coach before us is a year or two older than Briar, and the little girl after us is, I think, 2 years older than Briar. And now that we've joined the figure skating club, I'm hoping that we'll see them around more often. But it's nice because, besides the fact that as a skate mom, I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know, like, what my next step is. I don't know what to add. Like, I don't know. Like, she did a skill and we thought she did a great job, and the coach was like, don't clap for that. And I was like, oh, sorry. Because I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking for. I don't have a clue. And, you know, maybe she's not going to be as successful as a skater as somebody who has a parent with a lot of skating knowledge. I don't know. But I'm hoping that this translates into at least peers that she will see around more often. Who knows? We'll find out. Hopefully. But, what? Stay tuned, yeah. But we did that, and then the next day, which I guess is probably where I'm going to have to end off, my sister is in town, and unfortunately, due to my daughter's schedule and her schedule, I didn't really have time to see her, and I was really worried that I wasn't going to get to see her. And we chatted, and we actually met up at a mall near. She's staying down with my family, so we met up. I drove down that way. My husband drove, and we spent hours with her and her child at the mall, walking around. We did some shopping. We just enjoyed each other's company. I haven't seen her in a year. You know, I probably won't see her again for that long, if not longer. So it was just really nice to be able to see her child. You know, I love my sister. I love her dearly. But it's hard when you're having some strained relationships with family members, and then you have other family members that live so incredibly far away. And, you know, now with my kid being an athlete and being in school and all these things, and like, even though she's not in school right now, she will be in the fall, so I can't just be like, oh, well, we're going to fly out to you for a week, because it has to coordinate with her kid's school schedule and my kid's school schedule. And now I understand why all of the older cousins, it was always such an ordeal to figure out what would work for all of the cousins. Spoiler alert, it never worked for all of the cousins. But, you know, it was just nice. It was nice to spend time with them. My daughter and her, like, video chat, so it was nice for her to get to see her in person. And, like, little kids, they change so much so quickly. So even though she video chats with her, a lot has changed since she saw my daughter last. But it was really wonderful. I'm really, really glad we got to do it. We stopped on the way home at a diner. My daughter fell out of her chair twice. Almost fell out of it like 2 more times. My husband and I caught it. And it's like, girl, I don't know how to tell you. Sit on your butt. Like, I don't mean sit on your butt because I want you to sit on your butt. I'm telling you, sit on your butt because this is the safest thing for you, my friend. God damn it. Just missed a whole chunk of this letter. This is the story of my life, you guys. And so it was just one of those things. And we ordered her the smallest order of pancakes. Oh my God, there had to be a dozen silver pancakes on that plate. And I wanted to be like, you don't have like a kid's pancake order. I was shocked, honestly. But I think this might be a good place. Yeah. I think this might be a good place to let you guys go. We can talk about... That was it, I think. I think I just kind of rushed through the stuff at the end. But if you guys made it all the way to the end, let me see some sort of 4th of July-esque emoji, I guess. Since Briar really likes flags. Flags. What?
Can I get one?
Sure, actually.
Team pancake or team waffle?
Okay. Give us your emoji for the 4th of July, fireworks. Just make it however creative you want. And then let us know. Are you team waffle or are you team pancake? Down below. If you guys enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more videos like this, please make sure to give this video 2 thumbs up. One real life, one virtual. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Come join the Sparkle Squad. And while you're there, hit that notification bell.
Yay.
I do not operate on any sort of schedule. I operate on toddler standard time, and I record while my tiny human is sleeping, or like today, sleeping. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye, guys!